Okay, so this week we have a new week in our class, of course, January 22nd through the 27th, and we are talking about graphic design elements and principles, but we're also getting you started on some photo editing stuff, so some photo editing applications and information. So first you're going to read textbook chapter 5, Mini Art School, and that gives you some information about those basic graphic design elements and principles. And then you're going to do a little bit of a discussion this week. You're going to choose a design made by someone else. And most likely you'll find that online, although you could take a picture of it too, if of something that you find in the real world. And then post a link or attach this design to the discussion board. List at least 2 elements and 2 principles of design that this graphic design makes use of, and explain how the elements and principles are exhibited in the graphic design. And then you'll comment on 2 other students' posts, post by the end of Thursday this week, and comment on at least 2 other students' posts by the end of the week. So that's the discussion for this week. You'll look at a couple of informational, a presentation and then also a link to our media, copyright-free media resources. And this just gives you a basic intro to finding graphics that might be copyright-free, and finding those might be important. So there are some copyright-free places that you can go and get free photos and download those and use those for any kind of project that you want to. And it's important to know about those now, as well as throughout the semester probably. And then you're going to be asked to install GIMP. And GIMP is a nice graphic imaging editor, kind of like Photoshop. And for one class, it's kind of hard to justify paying for Photoshop as a big old um, a big old program. So you're going to install GIMP. Let's see, in order to complete the picture manipulation assignment, you'll need to use a basic photo editing program and also a more advanced advanced one. Your options for the basic one include the Photos app on the Mac. And for those of you who might be familiar, there's an app already on your Mac. And right here we can launch it up. And here's the Photos app. And you can use this to do the basic editing of photos. So you pull up a photo, like this magnificent one of 2 unicorns with birds. I don't know where that came from. And you can edit photos using the edit button here. You can change the lighting, adjust the color, and so forth right there. So if you have a Mac, this is an option for you to do this. There's also a Photos app on Windows 10 that has many of the same features as the Mac one does. So if you have Windows 10, you can use that. You can also use the Photos app on the iPad. So if you have an iPad, you can bring up a photo to complete the assignment in that iPad app and give me the original plus the edited photo. And also, if you have none of those as your option, you can use the bfunky.com features photo editor. And I need to change that link. What this does is it allows you to do some photo editing just right online, which is nice to be able to do if you don't have an app installed on your computer. So let's click on that now. There, it worked. And you can choose Get Started. And this allows you to actually but edit photos in simple ways as well, like the Photos app on Windows 10 or so forth. So you can upload a photo here from your computer. And again, let me try to find a nice photo file. Here we go, pictures. And open that one up. Okay, that's not a photo, but anyway, it can be used to show you some of these things. And you can change things like exposure, auto enhance, beautify, color, sharpen, smoothing, and so forth over here. So if you want to do this, you can just choose the option and use that photo editor as well. It used to be, by the way, there's a lot of different items here for touching up, effects, frames, graphics, and so forth. But I think the one that you would use the most is this edit one here for the different options that are in the assignment. So that's another option. Basically, you have all these different options to do this project. Now, what is the project, you may be wondering, right? So next week on February 3rd is this project, the picture manipulation project. And let's open this up. So you can find copyright-free photos online or take a set of pictures using a digital camera. And I probably would encourage you to take a set of pictures if you have the option to do that. It's nice to use your own and kind of be able to manipulate your own. And you can use a digital camera or even your iPad or your iPhone or a smartphone to take those pictures. But when you take those pictures, make sure you're paying attention to the requirements of this assignment. So all right, so here we go. Let's see. Be sure that, at least one of your pictures must include a subject in front of a background, and another must include a background free of a main subject. So you're looking for a picture that has, it's a very simple picture. You've got a subject, maybe it's a person's head in front of a background, and then another picture of just a background that you could maybe put that photo into, the person into a different kind of background. Let's see, be sure that another picture features an item that you don't want in the picture. So you could have somebody photo bombing, for instance, and you're going to edit them out of the picture. Or it could be just an object that's kind of ugly and you want it out of there. You're going to remove the item from the picture digitally later. Also, take a picture that has an item of which you can change the color. So maybe there's a prominent item in the picture that you want to change the color of. And that's basically some of the requirements, although there may be a few other photos that you might have to take. So for the basic photo editor, and that means the Be Funky one that I showed you, or just iMovie or iPhoto on the iPad, or the Photos app on the Mac, or the Windows 10 photo editor, you can choose a picture with possible lighting improvements and adjust the lighting levels to improve it. You can choose a picture that needs to be cropped, and using your photo editing program, crop the photo. And you can choose a picture and change its colors using a filter of your choice. So you change the entire picture's color using just a filter on there to make it a different color. Maybe make it pink or blue overall. So you submit that picture as well. For the assignment, you're going to submit to me all of the original pictures before they were edited, so make sure you do save a version of them so that you can submit to me the originals, and then you're going to submit to me the edited photos as well. Okay, so now we're getting into the more advanced photo editing with GIMP. So with GIMP, you'll want to get that installed this week, and we'll have some GIMP instruction next week on how to use it. Choose a picture with colored item in it. Use your photo editing program to change the color of one element in the picture without changing the colors of other elements in the picture. So submit this picture with the original unedited picture and name it color 2. Choose a picture, and pay attention to the naming as well. So it's going to ask for these photos of different names like lighting and crop. Try to label them if you can. Choose a picture to resize to a smaller size resolution than the original. Use your photo editing program to resize this photo to make it under 20 kilobytes in size. And sometimes we need to do this for web pictures. You have to have a small size picture that doesn't take up a lot of space, I guess. So you're going to take a picture and make it small as far as resolution goes. Not necessarily size, but resolution. So that means making the file size smaller. Choose a picture with an unwanted item in it and use your photo editing tool to remove this item from the picture. Choose a picture to separate from its background and take the steps in GIMP to separate it from its background. Submit this picture with a solid colored background along with the original unedited picture and name it background. And then choose a picture with a background that you can add your background picture into. Then add your background picture as a layer in front of the picture you took that has a background but no subject. So in other words, you're going to take a picture that has a person in it or a subject of some kind, and you're going to take out the background from that picture so that it's just the subject and a clear background or a solid colored background. And then you're going to choose another picture and add the subject into that picture. So the other picture has a background and you're going to add the subject into the background. So it's as if they were in a different place, basically. Kind of like a weatherman, shows that they're in a different place, reporting the weather. So that's the idea, is you're going to basically give me all the original photos and manipulated photos and submit those into D2L. You can zip them into a single file and submit them in that way, or you can just submit each of the different files as part of this assignment. And then it's going to take a look at each of the photos that's required and make sure that they're there and as required. So again, these are important skills for submitting or for being able to manipulate graphics. We have a world now where we can manipulate any kind of graphic, and it's part of our media literacy to be able to decode these images and create these types of images ourselves, to understand that maybe there are some issues with manipulating every photo out there. And that can be a kind of an interesting thing, but also to understand how to do it ourselves if we need to for different types of projects that may come up. Now remember, this is not due until February 3rd, and if you look next week, you have some learning to use GIMP tutorials. The basic photo editors, I didn't include some instructions on that because I think most people, if they play around with them a little bit, they can figure them out. If you do have some difficulties with this, if it's you just can't figure out one of the things, just email me, that's okay, or use Remind to respond back to me about this. But I think it should work out okay. So take the time to do that, and good luck for this week. Just try to gather the photos and install the applications and be ready for this. And then next week you'll actually do I think the photo manipulation work that you'll need to do. So good luck on finishing up this week, and we'll see you later.